Right now I'm at the Ashmont Redline station. This is the northern end of the Matapan Trolley, which uses PCC trolley cars between here and Matapan, a distance of about 2.6 miles. I'm going to take a tour of this line today. And here comes a PCC car arriving from Matapan. It's going to loop around and go back to Matapan here. Not many systems run with PCCs in the United States these days. San Francisco is the only one I know of. Kenosha, Wisconsin had some. Philadelphia is refurbishing some for their Route 15 line, but they're not in service yet. It's the first stop out of Ashmont, Cedar Grove. Like I said, this line is about 2.5 miles or so long, but takes on many different characteristics. Very scenic in spots. Kind of infrequent, but this service has been in effect since 1929. Runs with a fleet of about 5 or 6 PCC cars, and they're refurbishing some of them, rebuilt with all new parts. And it's quite a unique system. Like I said, there aren't many lines that operate PCC cars in the United States. This line used to be the old Colony line. It was a couple of different commuter lines on the old Colony up until 1929 when this was built. And here we have an Ashmont bound trolley coming into Cedar Grove to pick up a lone passenger. And he'll be back in a few minutes once he makes his turnaround at Ashmont. Here we have a Matapan bound trolley coming. This is standard gauge, 4 feet 8.5 inches. Comes an Ashmont bound trolley. And here we have another Matapan bound trolley coming into Cedar Grove. And those PCCs were built by Pullman Standard in the mid-1940s. They keep refurbishing them. Hopefully they'll be around another 10 years. The community likes having these trolleys. There was talk about having a busway put in instead of the trolley, but people were up in arms about it. And here comes another Ashmont bound car through this residential neighborhood. You gotta love it. Every station is different. Some are in scenic areas, some are in busy commercial areas, some are in wooded areas, some are in residential areas. Yeah, it's kind of a blustery day here, but not terribly cold, in the 40s. Here we have another Matapan Trolley, and this operator likes to ring the bell. I remember when these cars ran on all the other green lines, like the Watertown line, the Boston College line, Cleveland Circle line, Arbor Way line. This is the last bastion for those cars. Here comes an Ashmont car. Catch this car going outbound to the next stop. Yeah, with the next stop southbound at Butler. And here at Butler, for quite a ways further down, there's a hiking trail alongside the right-of-way. Yeah, the Matapan Trolley line crosses the Neponset River twice on its run. And we got a Matapan car coming here at Butler. In fact, we should have a meet here. Really no need to ride the trolley with this hiking trail. Just walk along the trail. It follows the right-of-way. And we're south of Butler before the next station. Got a Ashmont car coming. Here's where long arms pay off. Architecture here. Now we got an Ashmont car coming here at Milton. As the historic building looms over in the background. Will trolleys have to make an obligatory stop heading towards Ashmont before coming into the station. And here we have a Matapan bound car at Milton. Here comes a Matapan car here at Milton. Now we move down to the next station at Central Avenue, one of two grade crossings on the Matapan line. And here comes an Ashmont trolley stopping at Central Avenue. As the sign indicates, the trolleys have to sound their gong before crossing the highway. That's how you get around in metropolitan Boston. The T. And here comes a Matapan bound car about to cross Central Avenue, crossing at grade. Ashmont bound. And we'll get on this car and head to the next stop, which is the most scenic valley road. Valley Road, the most scenic stop on this line. We'll spend some extra time here. The station is along the placid Matapan River. And we got an Ashmont car approaching. Red Sox hat on, this guy. You can see there's hardly any snow here, but if I was here a week ago, there'd be about a foot. They had some warm weather since then. The Matapan River. This is a beautiful area here. Here comes a Matapan car through this lovely sylvan setting.
Ashmont is now arriving.
You hear that voice? That voice is very common in the city of Boston. He's a retired MBTA executive. Does all the voiceovers for all the stops on the system. Ashmont car. got a Matapan car arriving Valley Road. And we got an Ashmont car coming from behind. No business. These operators no doubt are highly used to rail fans photographing these antiques. Well, we have a Matapan car coming, and there's one about 3 minutes behind him. I'll take that one to the next station, Capon Street. It's a nice station in a residential area with a railroad crossing. We're now at the next to the last stop at Capon Street. Nice, pleasant residential area here. There's a Matapan car stopping at Capon Street. That car didn't sound too good. Sounded like he was slipping a little bit. We made it to the end of the line at Matapan. We see a trolley looping around. Go back. Yeah, you got a few trolley cars sitting here in the yard. And he's off to Ashmont. They're gonna put another car in the service here. And here comes a car that's coming into the terminal here at Matapan. It's going to loop around and then go back to Ashmont. All right, we moved up onto the Redline heavy rail line that runs between Ashmont and Airlife. And this is a great train watching spot. You have the Ashmont Airlife Redline trains, as well as the Braintree Airlife Redline trains, which don't stop here, plus your MBTA commuter rail that serve the New Colony lines. You should see several trains here. And over there are the famous Boston triple-decker houses. There's the red line to Ashmont. That single track is the commuter rail, and the two tracks on the far end of the red line to Braintree. And here comes a red line train from Braintree to Airlife. And right on its tail is train 20, MBTA from Middleborough Lakeville to South Station. It has one of those things on the back. Ay, ay, ay. He'll be arriving JFK UMass in a few minutes, heading for South Station. That Redline train had Bombardier-built cars built in the 90s. Redline uses all kinds of cars. They have the Pullman Standards that were built in the late 60s, early 70s. The UTDC cars built in the 80s. Those Bombardier cars, and they have one set of CRRC cars running, a 6-car set. Hopefully we'll see it. And next up is a Airlife bound train from Ashmont. Can't tell if these trains are coming or going. They have their red lights on the front. It looks like it's going backwards with marker lights. Well, this 1600 series car is one of the Pullman standard cars. They mix with the UTDC cars and they look pretty similar. Comes an Ashmont train. Leader is a set of Pullman standards. I rode on these back in 1970 when they were first delivered. Here comes a Braintree Airlife Redline train with some of the Bombardier cars. And we got a Braintree train with some of the older cars. Solid set of Pullman standard cars. Well, here comes MBTA commuter rail number 19, bound for Middleborough Lakeville with some classic power on the point. PH-3C in that lovely paint scheme. And we got another Airlife train coming in from Ashmont. They don't seem to run the Bombardiers on the Ashmont trains. At least I haven't seen any yet. Interesting to see these 50-year-old cars still soldiering on. These cars were delivered, they were stainless steel silver cars. Painted up into the red stripe like this. Well, I spoke too soon. Here's a set of Bombardiers headed for Ashmont. some Bombardiers out of Braintree. Braintree's a stop for the commuter rail too. Should have MBTA commuter rail number 87 for Greenbush coming shortly. And here comes 87 for Greenbush with more junk on the point. The new colony lines generally use the older power. So I'm 1 out of 3 as far as the old power goes. Braintree bound on the red line. Yeah, the red line of Braintree. Yeah, we're now at another busy train watching spot. JFK UMass station. It's a joint Redline and MBTA commuter rail station. We hope to see several commuter rail trains here. Yeah, it's 4:37. In the next 20 minutes or so, we should see at least 3 commuter rail trains stop here. Yeah, here we have a Redline train from Ashmont. 'Ashmont Airlife trains have 1 platform, and the Braintree Airlife trains have the nearer platform. And they join up just to the north of this station before going into the tunnel. Well, here comes a Redline train from Braintree, arriving in it to its platform. Shortly we should have train 57, commuter train for Kingston, arriving. .01747. This is one of the UTDC cars. They look very similar to the Pullman standards. And here comes train 57 for Kingston with more junk. make an interesting sound when they start up. Well, we got a Braintree bound Redline train about to depart, JFK UMass. Well, at 4:51, here comes commuter rail train 88 from Greenbush to South Station.
Train number 058 to South Station is estimated at 5:02 p.m. Train number 089 to Greenbush is scheduled at 5:01 p.m. For train information, visit mbta.com.
Yeah, there's a Braintree Airlife train arriving with Bombardiers. This is a busy place. Arriving from Braintree to Airlife. Soon, commuter rail train number 21 from Middleborough Lakeville will be coming in. Here comes train 21. Oh, more of these. Getting a bit frustrated here with all those Garfields. I find the Redline subway trains more interesting. Here comes another Redline train from Braintree with train 58 from Kingston to South Station on the commuter rail, following him in. Next stop, South Station. Here comes a train from Braintree that has headlights on. I wonder if this might be the CRRC car set. They're usually the only ones that use headlights. No, it's a set of bombardiers, but that's the first subway I've seen with the headlights on. Well, here comes 89 to Greenbush at 5:21. I am getting absolutely fed up. I've had it. I'm out of here. I should point out, to add insult to injury, this station is poorly designed. To get from the commuter rail platform to the subway, it'd be nice if they just had a stairway right up from this platform, go up and over. But instead I gotta walk over to the left a little ways and walk on a long bridge up there to get down to the subway tracks. Jesus. Well, we're back at South Station, and you'll notice the fancy name for this stop. It's about 5:36. Got a little over an hour before my train for New York leaves. His next stop will be Park Street, or as they say in these parts, Park Street. Well, here at South Station, we're going to observe a different type of transit operation, different type of vehicle, the Silver Line. Through here, they run a fleet of trackless trolley buses. They're not trains, but they're like trains in that they run on a fixed right-of-way through this tunnel. I'm going to get some of these. Notice how quiet these things are. There are a number of trackless trolley lines in the city of Boston. Philadelphia has some too that connect out of Frankfurt. Got an SL3 vehicle right behind this guy. South Station is the terminus for these vehicles. Here comes one for the airport. When he comes out of the tunnel, he'll turn into a diesel bus. This is an SL1 for the airport. Outside South Station in downtown Boston, the financial district. And across the street, Atlantic Avenue, is stately South Station. I'm gonna do a little rail fanning in South Station before I go. There's train 550 to Worcester. He's got an F40. Correction, that was train 527 for Worcester. And that guy with the HSP 46 is waiting to leave for Stoughton at 6 o'clock. We got a Needham Heights and a Middleborough Lakeville train departing at 5:55. Just can't get out of that HSP 46 funk. But he's off to Middleborough Lakeville. This is train 23. Here's train 625 departing for Needham Heights. Due out of here at 6 o'clock is train 885 for Stoughton. chill out in the waiting room, waiting for my Amtrak train to New York. And about a minute late, here comes train 174 from Newport News, Virginia. Run is complete. Minutes late. Well, here's my power on train 179 to New York tonight. ACS 64 number 645. 4 hours and 5 minutes to New York. Believe it or not, this is going to be one of his last runs. Starting Monday, this train will be suspended for a couple of months due to COVID.